If you gave Etsy $1 and Etsy gave you back $20 or $30, would you give Etsy that dollar? I think for most Etsy sellers, that would be a no-brainer. Yes, I would give Etsy that dollar. In theory, this is what Etsy ads should do for your Etsy business. Not only that, outside of organic sales, the easiest, cheapest, and fastest way to get more sales and more customers to continue that snowball effect of your shop is Etsy ads. Outside of organic, that is, of course. And the reason is because Etsy ads are being shown to people that are doing what? People that are searching for the products that they want to buy in the Etsy search bar, aka your products that hold your keywords in your listings. This is not like when you do organic traffic on social media where people aren't technically going to social media for a purchasing decision. It's a much colder traffic source. There is much opportunity there, but if you have to look at what's hotter traffic, Etsy ads and Etsy inside of the Etsy platform is going to win every single time. Unless, of course, you're just an organic viral content creator, in which case I would skip Etsy altogether. But the problem is Etsy makes it so confusing to know how to do what I'm saying, which is optimize your Etsy ads. The optimization process, or the different ways that you can optimize your Etsy ads, is kind of like if you were sick and you went to 10 different doctors, and those 10 different doctors gave you 10 different protocols of how to solve that problem or to solve your sickness. It's the same thing currently with Etsy ads. If you listen to 10 different people, each person potentially is going to give you a different diagnosis or a different strategy of how to optimize your Etsy ads. And that in itself is a problem. It leaves people to thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. It also leads to them feeling not confident in their decision of whether or not they're optimizing their ads properly. And overall, it just leads people to either wasting money or not spending at all and basically prematurely capping out their store's potential. At this point, we have run multiple thought experiments expanding across over 250 serious Etsy sellers to discuss this exact topic. And the goal of running these thought experiments was to come up with a collective solution where we can fundamentally agree that this is the correct way to optimize your Etsy ads. So you can ensure that if you're putting in $1, you're getting back that $10, $15, $20 return, whatever parameters you set for your shop. And this video is revealing the ultimate solution to scaling your Etsy ads confidently, where you can ensure that every dollar spent is yielding you that $10, $15, $20, $30, $40, whatever it is that you want to see. And I personally can't even take credit for this video because we have worked with so many Etsy sellers to try to get to the bottom of this. So this has been a collective effort to now finding the ultimate solution. And it's no surprise, what we actually came up with is the exact same strategy that 7-8-figure per month Amazon sellers use as well when it comes to analyzing their own Amazon PPC. And just a quick shout out here, there's one person in particular that I want to thank for this that has helped us along on this journey. She has sat in on our thought experiment and she has contributed a lot. Her name is Carla Murphy. She is a top seller and she has worked with me heavily on this to come to this solution. So without further ado, let's get into it. By the way, really quick, if you do have any objections to this video, I would love to hear your comments in the comment section, because getting objections, having people challenge our ideas is what makes us better entrepreneurs. So at any point you feel like you have a better alternative or a strategy that is better than what we're proposing here, then please comment that down below and leave a justification of why it's better. Why do you believe that your way is better than our way? Again, that is what makes us better entrepreneurs, and it challenges us to do things better in our businesses. All right, so let's look at the Etsy dashboard as is. So what does Etsy give you off the bat? So inside of your Etsy ads dashboard, you get to see views, clicks, click rate, orders, revenue, spend, and ROAS. The problem is that not one single metric here is giving you a holistic picture of how your listing is performing against what you're actually spending. One thing that we see here is return on ad spend. This is the amount of revenue that the ad made you against the amount that you spend. And the way that revenue is being calculated here is revenue from the click of the ad. So if someone clicked on your ad and purchased off the listing, but it's also including revenue if they clicked on the ad, but then they purchased off of a different listing. ROAS in itself is an interesting metric to look at, but it's not the KPI, the key performance indicator on whether or not you need to turn it off to make you money, basically. Even in the past, I have taught people to look at ROAS, but my mindset has completely changed because ROAS itself is not a strong enough factor to tell you the performance of your listing and whether or not it makes sense for it to stay on or off. So what does that actually mean? So in this example, you can see that the ROAS is 2.42. So that means if I give Etsy $1 just in the revenue that Etsy is giving back to me from the ad itself, whether it was a click on the listing and they bought on the listing, or if they clicked on the listing and then bought a different listing, my return on that dollar spend is $2.42. So if I give Etsy $1, then I'm getting back $2.42. But this is what the thought experiment was centered around, because the problem is sometimes your ROAS can look horrible. Like it can look like the listing is underperforming, but then when you compare what you spent to your top line sales, the spend, whatever you spent, actually does make sense to leave the ad running. And I'm going to explain right now what that actually means. In theory, you never want to turn off your Etsy ads if your listing makes sense after spend and including organic sales. So if your listing is performing organically very, very well, even though the revenue from the ads look bad, in theory, you would actually still want to keep it on. And why is that? That is because those additional clicks, those additional purchases, those additional add to carts are actually not so indirectly, but directly contributing to the organic growth of your listing as well. By the way, if I just lost you in that sentence where I said that ads contribute to organic growth as well, stay to the end because we're going to debunk this together of why I'm going to stand by that statement. But even if you don't believe me or agree with me, stay till the end because I still have something for you that's going to help in the way that you analyze your ads as well. So let's get back into the video. Again, this is a culmination of many Etsy minds working together to come up with the most simplest solution. So again, what we want to compare is spend against top line sales. But wait a second, there's a problem here because you actually can't get your top line sales in the way that you need it from Etsy to make this decision. Again, what we want to see is what did we spend and what did we holistically make from the listing. Holistically make from the listing, including what I'm calling top line sales, is calculated like this. All organic revenue plus all revenue made from the click of that ad, plus all revenue made from the click of that ad, but they purchased off of a different listing. When you analyze spend against this top line sales, you're getting a holistic picture of the quality of those clicks that originated from that listing. Let me repeat that so we understand. This picture, when we analyze what money we gave the listing in spend, and we pull out what we made in top line revenue, including organic sales, clicks from the ad and they purchase off the listing, and clicks from the ad but they purchase on a different listing, all of that revenue is a showcase of the quality of the first click that was on that listing. And so we want to look at all of that revenue against the spend. And when you take the spend divided by your total sales, this percentage is something called tacos. And again, like I mentioned before, this isn't something that we made up. Tacos stands for total advertising cost of the sale. And this is also the same metric that 8-figure Amazon sellers analyze when they're optimizing their own Amazon PPC. The difference is Amazon gives you that metric and Etsy does not. Etsy doesn't, but we do. This percentage, your spend divided by your total sales, is your tacos percentage. And this is on the shop level, the same thing as like your ad cost percentage, which is also something that our tool ProfitTree shows you on the store level. If you go into a ProfitTree dashboard, we're going to calculate this off the bat. It's the percentage of your spend against your total sales in your shop. But the problem is to get that ad cost percentage lower and lower every month. To be optimizing your ads to get your ad cost percentage down, that means that you need to be turning off listings that aren't hitting your average store tacos. So In this case scenario, we see that this is the ad cost percentage. In order to get this number down, we need to turn off any listing that isn't hitting this ad cost percentage, aka tacos. But again, the problem is you can't get that total sales number anyway. You can't get it unless you try to calculate it. The only way that it exists possible to do it as of right now is with our tool ProfitTree. So we're now actually giving sellers their tacos percentage on a listing level as well. We were already giving it to people on the dashboard. Now we're also giving it to people on the listing level. So as you can see, we just introduced a new advertising tab. And so now it's very black and white. If this tacos percentage is not the percentage that you need to see in order to make the profit you want, then that means that you need to turn it off. If your goal is to get your ad cost percentage, aka your tacos percentage, down month over month, then what you would want to do is turn off any listing in this column here that is not beating your overall store marketing cost percentage. And remember, you determine your threshold. So for example, if you want to be clearing a 20 or 30% profit, then that is the threshold or how strict you are gonna be when it comes to turning your ads on and off. At the end of the day, the only thing that matters with Etsy ads is making more profit. Not your cost per click, not your views amount, not your click-through rate. All those metrics are really interesting to look at, but all that really matters is, does the listing make sense in terms of profit after you factor in your marketing cost percentage or your tacos on the listing level? So for example, if you are in a very low ticket space like digital downloads or print on demand, and you know that in order to clear the profit that you want to make, you need to keep your marketing cost percentage down less than say 10%, then that means in your tacos column here, you would not want any of your tacos to be going over 10%. So then you know that the dollar spent is not costing you more than 10% of your sales for that listing. By analyzing your Etsy ads in this way, it makes things very black and white because we're attributing the spend to the total output of revenue of that listing. There's many ideas around Etsy ads, but again, this was a collective effort from you guys to really figure out how can we make this as simple as possible. We're giving Etsy $1 and we want to make this much back. Now, like I mentioned, we already know for people that don't like considering organic sales when optimizing their ads, even though it's kind of like, how can you not look at organic sales? Because when you make a sale through an ad, that could have given you a review, a 5-star review, and then that made someone purchase an organic purchase convert because that review came in and that review came in from an ad. So there always is a pretty direct correlation to organic growth when you run ads. Not to mention that the attribution window on ads is only 30 days. So if someone add to carts today and they don't purchase for 3 months from now, just in general, you get the point. But we already know that there is going to be a pool of people that don't agree with that. And so for you guys, what we also are displaying in the same dashboard is the same ROAS that Etsy gives you, but alongside that, we're allowing you to calculate your break-even ROAS. Well, we're calculating it for you automatically. In order to calculate your break-even point, if you're somebody that just likes to look at what your ROAS versus your break-even point and that's all you care about, what you need to do in ProfitTree is make sure you go and put in your product cost so that this column calculates properly. So if you are someone that doesn't want to look at tacos, even though tacos really is the only true sign of whether or not you should leave something on or off, if you want to look at ROAS, you just have to make sure that you input your product cost on the listings that you're analyzing inside of ProfitTree, so then the break-even ROAS is calculated correctly, and then you can look at ROAS and your break-even point. And again, ROAS isn't cool to look at, but why I don't really trust ROAS is because sometimes your ROAS can look really bad. It looks like you're losing money, which in theory you are losing money on the ad level. But if the listing is performing holistically with organic traffic and your ad cost percentage is, your tacos percentage, ad cost percentage is still hitting what you want to hit, then I'm never going to turn off that listing. But again, for the people that do like ROAS, that is there for you. But also, if you are somebody that doesn't believe that ads affect your organic SEO, you can actually almost prove this to yourself in your Etsy stats page. So when you launch a listing for the first time, if you immediately put ad money behind it, your Etsy stats page is going to look something like this, where your traffic source is primarily coming from ads. But as you start getting reviews, and if it's a healthy performing listing, what you'll see is that over time, this blue will start taking over the pie chart, and that blue organic will start overpowering what you're spending on ads. Where in theory, if Etsy ads didn't contribute to your organic growth and you launched the listing from day one with ads, your ads traffic and organic SEO traffic would probably stay about the same. Again, if you're getting more reviews, if you're getting more clicks, add to carts than your competitors because you're paying for it, that snowball effect is going to happen much, much faster. But again, everything is ultimately up to test, and this is what we encourage. We encourage people to test everything. And now with our tool, you can clearly see and calculate what listings are making more profit. Are they making more profit with ads on or with ads off? It's very black and white. ProfitTree has a lot of really cool features. Obviously, our dashboard is giving you real-time profit. It's a COGS management tool. So if you're selling with Printify or Printful, all you do is make one-click integration and you can immediately begin tracking all of your expenses. So you can see your real-time profit, not only on the store level, but the listing level and each unique variation option level as well. Overall, guys, this tacos feature is not launched yet. We are launching it at the end of November. So because of that, I have an exclusive 30-day trial. We don't have 30-day trials live. This is a special link down below. Our normal trials are only 7 days, but to get you in for the full month so you can see the benefits of tacos when we do launch, you can start onboarding now, getting all of your accounts set up. So by the time tacos is ready, you have your account set up and ready to go. So you can start analyzing your ads properly. All right, guys, thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.